Hello, this is your famous author Mark coming to you live with another interesting discussion. Today's discussion, we're going to call this the lost generation because what I've been hearing about, I've been hearing on the news a lot about universal basic income. People have begun talking about it. People have been calling this generation a what we call lazy generation, that they don't want to work, etc., etc. Okay, let's see if we can have a civilized discussion on these two subjects: universal basic income and the lazy generation. Well, I would not call these people the lazy generation, the millennials, the Gen Xers, etc., etc. Now, here's why I would not call these people lazy. Because in today's world, see, when our parents were around and when our parents went to school, you went to school, you graduated from high school, and then you went to work. And mind you, back then you could have made a decent living, um, a decent living right out of high school. But now, because of our dear employer, because of because of their ignorance and so-called support for progressive credentialism, because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What is progressive credentialism? I'll explain that to you in this video, hopefully. Now, because of our dear employers and so-called progressive credentialism, because our employers pretty soon will require you to have a degree in order to be a in order to be a janitor, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, I mean, I know how ridiculous that sounds. That pretty soon you will have to have a college degree in order to be a janitor, or to sweep floors. But this is where we are headed now. Some people, now I'm going to get into this a little bit deeper. We're going to talk more about progressive credentialism, but we're going to turn our attention to some people call the millennials and the Gen X's the laziest generation. Well, in my opinion, I don't think they are the laziest generation, and some people say that they don't want to work because look, nowadays you don't you know you working. I understand about working hard, making things better for yourself, etc. But nowadays, in order for you to be semi successful, you don't work hard anymore. You do not have to work hard anymore. What you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to work smart, not hard. Because, look, here and this is where we're going to get into. Some people say that this generation doesn't want to work, etc., etc. That they don't understand hard work. No, they understand hard work. But guess what? Nowadays, in order to be somewhat successful, in my opinion, you don't work hard anymore. You have to work smart. Now, is college degree always the answer in order to work smart? No, I would say no. But however, because of so-called progressive credentialism, because our dear employers can pressure us to obtain higher and higher degrees, then and they say, oh, we're not going to hire unless you get a bachelor's degree. We're not going to hire because you don't have a master's. Well, excuse me in that case. Well, and who is actually portraying this so-called progressive credentialism? It's our dear employers. No offense, but really, what happened? Seriously, what happened to those days when You went through grade school. Oh well, let's take it further than that. You went to kindergarten, grade school, high school, and then you went to work. You actually then you saved up some money. You could have gone to college, or you could have saved up money, buy a home, and support a family, etc., etc. But nowadays, this kind of a dream is impossible. Okay, the next topic I want to discuss when it comes to progressive credentialism and all this other stuff. Now, there's talk of, ladies and gentlemen, of what we call universal basic income. You might be asking yourselves a question, Mark. Are you for universal basic income? I would say if somebody asked me that question right now, am I for a universal basic income? I would have to answer them. My answer would be I would have to study it a little bit more because with our jobs being outsourced, with our economy the way it is, with our monetary policy the way it is, then unfortunately, I would after examining all these elements, ladies and gentlemen, I would have to be for universal basic income because, look, how are you going to because here's the thing, how are you going to survive with all the food prices that are being high? How are you going to survive with the electricity prices of being so high? Your taxes your income tax on houses and etc. Your rent is definitely going up. So how are you going to survive with the limited options in employment, etc., etc.? Now, I understand that some media people like Fox News, CNN, etc., they said, oh, the employment is strong and all that other stuff. But unfortunately, when I graduated from Strayer University, one thing I learned in my statistics class, ladies and gentlemen, that data and statistics can be manipulated. So in reality, I would say that all those statistics on unemployment through Bureau of Labor Statistics are, yes, they're somewhat more. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is, yes, they're very reliable source of information when it comes to employment and things like that. But to some degree, those statistics are kind of being manipulated. Now, question for you. Some people are saying that we should give people universal basic income, that we should pay off their student loans. Now, with paying off student loans, I kind of disagree with that because paying off people's student loans. I mean, because here's the why I would disagree with paying off other people's student loans by taxpayers, because here's the deal: if you chose to take a degree like philosophy, if you chose to take an easy degree like philosophy, dance, and all the not non STEM or engineering degrees, if you chose to have a so-called fun degree, then it is not up to me or taxpayers to pay off your student loans because you chose the wrong degree. Because let me tell you, in life, everything revolves around choices and consequences. So if you made an honest choice that you were going to major in, for example, philosophy or liberal arts or those degrees that do not guarantee you a job, then I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It is not up to me and the rest of the taxpayers, ladies and gentlemen, to pay off your college degree. Now, when it comes to the debate on on what do you call universal basic income, I'm still on the fence about that because you know you know here comes the nub and the rub. I mean, if you get, for example, if we were to implement the universal basic income in America right now, like they did in Sweden, then we would have a bunch of unemployed people because if you get more, of course, this is logical. If you get more money from universal basic income than working, obviously, mathematically speaking, if you make more money is sitting at home on universal basic income, then the choice in that case is obvious. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. So what I'm saying is, with all this turmoil going on and all this stuff, to be honest with you, I don't think we have what we call lazy generation. You know, they're saying that Generation X is a bunch of lazy people, that Generation Z is more lazy people. No, we don't have I don't think we do have lazy people in America that much anymore. The problem is because those jobs that you can get out of get when you get out of college with your degrees or get out of school in general. I mean, those jobs that we have out there now because of the outsourcing and all this stuff, those jobs are not meeting the for example the lifestyle that we want to live. So those how can I put this? Those jobs that they're off that the employers and corporations are offering us for example minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage. I mean, they are not basically they're not going to sustain us through all these expensive things, like your electricity bills are going up, your property taxes are going up, this is going up, your grocery store. So, uh, in that case, you have to ask yourself a question: Is this generation lazy, or it does does this generation basically lack the opportunity and the basically this generation, in my opinion, does not make good enough income basically to kind of live on their own, to buy a small home or an apartment, etc., etc. So I'm gonna leave you with these thoughts right now, and I want you to tell me what you think of this particular discussion. You can write your comments down. Um, you can write your comments down. You can give me a thumbs up, and if you do like my channel, please subscribe.